English Standard 8 Lesson number 3 Friendship and Duty. Activity 1. William Sidney Potter, better known by the pen name O. Henry, was an American writer. So, pen name means not the actual name, children. Whenever any writer is using a pen name, that means he is not using his actual name. So, here his actual name is William Sidney Potter, and what he is using for his books and for his writings and for the plays, he is using O. Henry. O. Henry's short stories are known for their wordplay. Wordplay means different meanings for the word. Warm characterization and clear twist endings means his story is so interesting that the people would like to see or hear it till the end. He was born on 11 September 1862 in North Carolina and died on 5th June 1910. From December 1903 to January 1906, O. Henry wrote a story a week for the New York Word magazine and published several short stories in other magazines. Some of his famous stories are The Last Leaf, The Gift of Maggie. Children, if you remember this Gift of Maggie, you had in 5th standard the story about Jim and Dilla. The Gift of Maggie, the story is a literary technique in which an expectation of what is supposed to occur differs greatly from the actual outcome. In this story, Jim and Della sacrifice their most treasured possession. What was their treasured possession, children? Della had a very long hair, and Jim, who had a ancestral watch that they had sacrificed for each other so that the other can fully enjoy his or her gift. The Furnished Room, Cabbages and Kings. The story, after 20 years, has the typical O. Henry twist. However, the characters portrayed means children, depicted, shown, could well make us reflect on our values. For further information, you may refer to this site. Children, this is a homework. Who is your best friend? What do you like, him or her? And what do you mean by friendship? Write this and complete it. Activity 2 After 20 Years. This is one of the most popular story written by O. Henry. The policeman on the beat moved up the avenue impressively. On the beat means children on the duty. Moved up the avenue. Avenue means street. The impressiveness was habitual and not for a show. The way he was moving around, with the way he was doing patrolling, children, it was not for a show off, but it was his habitual action. For spectators was few. Spectators means the people around was very few. The time was barely 10 o'clock at night, but chilly gust of wind. The time was night, 10 o'clock, and there was a chilled wind was blowing with a taste of rain. That means children, it was drizzling also. In them had well nigh deep people the streets. That means almost there was no people on the streets. Trying doors as he went. Trying doors means one after another he kept on moving to see that if everything was going properly, and all the shops are closed. Twirling means children spinning. His club you can see, children, on the right side of your screen. You can see a policeman. I have put a picture, and in his hand you can see a stick that is known as a club. Twirling means spinning. His club with many intricate and artful movements means moving his club in such a artful way, and then to cast his watchful eye down the Pacific thoroughfare. That means he was also doing all this activity. Besides this, he was also keeping a watch that from this end to that end everything was going perfect. The officer with his stalwart form. Stalwart means children loyal, and slight swagger means children attitude, a confident that he was not at all, he was a very fearless policeman, made a fine picture of a guardian of peace. Guardian of peace means normally children, policeman is symbolized as a guardian of peace. In the most of the magazines and the newspaper, you can see in the policeman is termed as guardian of peace. The vicinity was one that kept early hours. Now and then you might see the lights of cigar store or an all night lunch counter. So you can see from it was already night time, and very almost of all the shops were closed, and only somewhere you can see the lights of a cigar store or a night lunch counter. So some restaurants and some cigar stores were open, except that all the other stores were closed. But the majorities of the doors belong to the business places that had long since been closed. So majority of the business had been closed. They have closed their business long back. When about midway of a certain block, the policeman suddenly slowed his walk. So while he was walking, nobody was there, as it was a as it was slight drizzling children. So people were very less, and all of a sudden he noticed that someone was standing there. The policeman suddenly slowed his walk in the doorway of a darkened hardware store. Hardware store means, children, a store where you can find all these technical types of things where it is available. A man leaned with an unlighted cigar in his mouth. So the policeman, as you know, children, the nature of policeman is he is always suspicious. So with his suspicious sight, he saw that one man was standing there, and that also he was having a cigar in his mouth that was not at all lightened. As the policeman walked up to him, the man spoke up quickly. So, as the people know about the nature of policemen, as soon as he saw the policeman, he talked to the policeman. It's all right, officer, he said. I'm just waiting for a friend. It's an appointment made 20 years ago. So the man is telling, see, I am not, you don't see me with a suspicious eyes. I am waiting for a friend, and we have made this appointment 20 long years back. Sounds a little funny to you. So he is asking the policeman that you feel that I am joking, isn't it? Doesn't it? Well, I will explain if you would like to make certain it's all straight. So the man is telling that I'm ready to tell you the story, but only if you trust me. If you are ready to trust me that whatever I am saying, that is truth. About that, long ago, there used to be a restaurant where this store stands. So today, where I am standing, that was a restaurant. It was not a hardware store, but it was a restaurant. What was the name of that restaurant? Big Joe Brady's restaurant. So the restaurant's name was Big Joe Brady's restaurant. Until 5 years ago, said the policeman. So the policeman said, before 5 years ago only, this restaurant, it was toned down then. Toned down means again it was renovated, it was rebuilt again. Before it was a restaurant, and now the restaurant has been rebuilt into a hardware store. The man in the doorway struck a match and lit his cigar. So the man, what he did, his cigar was unlighted. So he lit his cigar. The light showed a pale, square, jowed face. So when he lighted the cigar, the policeman could see the face of that man. It was square in shape, with keen eyes and a little white scar. White scar means, children, there was a mark on his near his right eyebrow. His scarf pin, children, on the right hand side you can see I have put the picture of a scarf pin. His scarf pin was a large diamond, oddly set. So it had a diamond on that scarf pin, and it looked very odd, it looked very suspicious like. 20 years ago tonight, said the man, I dined here at Big Joe Brady's with Jimmy Wells. So he is telling about the friend for whom he is waiting. So he is telling that 20 years back I had dined means, children, I had a dinner with my friend. What is his friend's name? Jimmy Wells. My best chum. Chum means friend. And the finest chap. Finest chap means the finest person in the world. He and I were raised here in New York. So we both were brought up in New York. Just like two brothers together. So we were like just two brothers. I was 18 and Jimmy was 20. The next morning, I was to start for the West to make my fortune. You couldn't have dragged Jimmy out of the New York. He thought it was the only place on the earth. Well, we agreed that night that we would meet here again exactly 20 years from that date and time. no matter what our condition might be or from what distance we might have to come. We figured that in 20 years, each of us ought to have our destiny worked out and our fortunes made, whatever they were going to be. So, 20 years back, we had a dinner in this restaurant, and during this our dinner, we had a discussion that this person, his name is not mentioned here. This person, the first person, he is telling that I have decided I will move towards the west to do or to find out some kind of work. But Jimmy Wells, my friend, he was not ready to come out of New York because he thought that New York is the only good place and nobody can take out Jimmy from New York, because he considered that if he will live or die, he will live here in New York only. Well, we agreed that night, we after 20 years, so after 20 years, whatever we will be or wherever we will be, in whatever condition we may be, we will meet here again in this same place and that date and time. It sounds pretty interesting, said the policeman. So the policeman said, ah, it sounds very interesting. I liked your story. Rather a long time between meets. So the policeman is telling it's too long, isn't it? 20 years means it is not a long, it is not a short period of time. It's a very long period of time. Though it seems to me. Haven't you heard from your friends since you left? So he's asking that after that 20 years, you did not have any correspondence with your friend, that whether you chatted with your friend or you had written any letter with your friend asking about him. You don't have any idea about your friend? So the policeman is asking that you didn't have any conversation after that meeting. Well, yes, for a time we corresponded, said the other. But after a year or two, we lost track of each other. So, for a year and a couple of years, we had a correspondent. We were talking to each other. We used to share our all the things with each other. But then we lost our track. You see, the West is a pretty big proposition, and I kept hustling around over it pretty lively. But I now Jimmy will meet me here if he is alive. I know Jimmy will meet me here if he is alive, for he is always was the truest, staunchest old chap in the world. He will never forget. I came 1,000 miles to stand in this door tonight, and it's worth if my old partner turns up. So he is telling to the policeman that to work in New York is not a easy job. You have to keep on moving. You have to keep on fighting for your livelihood. And today I have come here to meet my friend Jimmy, and I know that he is a very true friend, and he has promised that he will meet here after 20 years. So I believe that he will come here. I have come thousands of miles, from thousands of miles I have come here to meet him specially, and if he will meet me today, it will be worth. The waiting man pulled out a handsome watch, the lids of it set with small diamonds. 3 minutes to 10, he announced. It was exactly 10 o'clock when we parted here at the restaurant. So the waiting man, he pulled out a handsome means very costly watch. The lids of it set with small diamonds. You can see on the right hand side of your picture, I have given a picture of the image of a watch with the lid. You can see same this kind of watch, children. 3 minutes to 10, so it was exactly 3 minutes remaining to get 10 o'clock, to become 10 o'clock. He announced it was exactly 10 o'clock when we parted here at the restaurant door. So last 20 years back, when we left each other, it was exactly 10 o'clock. Did pretty well out in the west, didn't you? Asked the policeman. So after seeing diamond on the scarf pin, and then a costly watch, the policeman understood that he was a very rich person. Either he was a very rich businessman or he was doing some other wrong work. You bet. I hope Jimmy has done half as well. So Jimmy will not be as good as you. He was a kind of plodder. Plodder means he was very slow, but a good fellow as he was. I have had to compete with some of the sharpest wits going to get my pile. So, children, he is telling that if I had to earn my livelihood, or if I had to reach this position, I had to work very hard. A man gets in groove in New York. So, to work in New York is very tough, very tough. It takes the West to put a razor edge on him. So, to work in the West is, children, putting a razor edge means to put your life into danger. The policeman twirled his club. So again he started spinning his club and took a step or two. So he started moving forward. I will be on my way. Hope your friend comes around all right. So the policeman is telling, I am going for my duty and I hope that your friend will come here in time. Going to call time on him sharp. So are you going to wait for him or are you going to leave? I should say not, said the other. I will give him half an hour at least. So after 10 o'clock also I am going to wait half an hour for my friend. I cannot leave because I have come thousands of miles here to meet my friend. If Jimmy is alive on earth, he will be here by that time. So long, officer. So he is telling, if Jimmy is alive anywhere on this earth, he will surely come to meet here. Good night, sir, said the policeman, passing on along his beat, trying doors as he went. So he again continued, the policeman again continued his work and he said good night to the man. There was now a fine cold drizzle falling. Drizzle means raining. And the wind had risen from its uncertain puffs into a steady blow. So the wind was blowing and it was becoming very chilled. The atmosphere, the climate was becoming very chilled. The few pedestrians mean those who were walking in the neighborhood, hurried dismally and silently along with the coat collars turned high and pocketed hands. So it was very cold and chilled that people were running. They were wearing coat and inside the coat they have put the hands because it was very chilled outside. So they were running. And in the door of the hardware store, the man who had come a thousand miles to fill an appointment with the friend of his youth smoked his cigar and waited. So the man waited, though it was very chilled. The atmosphere was very cold. He waited for his friend. About 20 minutes he waited, and then a tall man in a long overcoat with collar turned up to his ears hurried across from the opposite side of the street. He came directly to the waiting man. So, after 20 minutes of his waiting, he saw a tall man coming towards him. Is that you, Bob? He asked doubtfully. So, the man asked to the man who was waiting. What was the man who was waiting's name? Bob. Is that you, Bob? He asked doubtfully. Is that you, Jimmy Wells? Cried the man in the door. So the man who was waiting, he was very happy. His name was Bob, and the other man's name was Jimmy Wells. So he cried out, "Is that you, Jimmy Wells?" Bless my heart, exclaimed the new arrival. So, the man who came just now, Jimmy Wells, he said, Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. Grasping both the other's hands with his own. So, he took hold of his hand. You can see in the picture, children, how he has grasped. Grasped means took hold of his hand. It's Bob, sure as fate. I was certain I would find you here if you were still in existence. So Bob says that I was very sure that you will be here. Well, 20 years is a long time. The old restaurant's gone, Bob. I wish it had lasted so we could have had another dinner there. So Jimmy Well is telling that if that restaurant would be here long 20 years, as before 20 years, like that only, same restaurants would be here, then we could have dined together. We could have another dinner here. How was the West treated you, old man? So, old man children, 20 years back. What was the age? One was of 18 and another one was 20. So, they are around about 38 to 40 years old. So, he's asking how the West had treated you, how you have worked, how you have enjoyed the people of a West. It has given me everything I asked for it. You have changed lots, Jimmy. I never thought you were so tall by 2 or 3 inches. So he's telling that West has given me everything. Whatever I have asked for it, I got everything from there. Then he's telling that Jimmy, you have changed a lot. You have become taller and you grew so he's telling, oh, I grew a bit after I was 20. So after 20 years I started growing little. Doing well in New York, Jimmy. Moderately. I have a position in one of the city departments. So he's telling I am also doing well in New York and I have a position. I am doing one kind of work in the city departments. Come on, Bob. We will go around to a place I know of and have a good long talk about old times. So he's telling, come, instead of standing here, let us go for a stroll and we will talk on the way. The two men started up the street arm in arm. So they are good friends. Who were good friends, children? Bob and Jimmy Wells. So arm in arm, after 20 years, they met each other and now they were so happy that they were arm in arm. One, his egoism, enlarged by success, was beginning to outline the history of his career. The other, submerged in his overcoat, listened with interest. So, Bob, who was very much excited to tell all his story about all his business and how all of a sudden he has become rich and how all of a sudden he got all the money. He was sharing all his history, all his career to his friend Jimmy Wells, and Jimmy Well was listening everything very carefully. At the corner stood a drugstore. Drugstore means, children, a medicine store. Brilliant with electric lights. So there were plenty of lights. It was very lighted. It was not dark, it was lighted. When they came into the glare means in the light, each of them turned simultaneously to gaze upon the other's face. So they stood face to face to see each other's face in the light, because till now the road was full dark. So they could not see each other clearly. But now in the light they wanted to see each other clearly. You are not Jimmy Wells, he snapped. So the man said, oh my God, you are not Jimmy Wells. 20 years is a long time, but not long enough to change a man's nose from a Roman. 20 years is not a short time, it's a long time. I understand. But this is not the thing that I cannot make out a Roman, that a pug nose and a Roman nose. I can make it a differentiate. See here, the picture is given of a Roman nose and a pug nose. So he's telling, the time changes a good man into a bad one, said the tall man. So the time can change. Anybody's time can change. You have been under arrest for 10 minutes. Silky Bob. So what is Bob's actual name? Silky Bob. So he is telling that you are under arrest. Who is this man arresting him? His friend, who has said that he is a friend. But no more. Bob understood that he is not his friend Jimmy Wells. Going quietly, are you? That's sensible. Now, before we go to the station, the police station, here is a note I was asked to hand you. You may read it here at the window. It's from Patrolman Wells. So, children, this tall man is not his friend Jimmy Wells, but the patrolman. Who was the patrolman? The man who had come earlier as a police, who had a chat with the policeman, and that man who had chatted, that was the actual Jimmy Wells. So he had sent a letter with this policeman, and let us see what was written in that letter. The man from the west unfolded the little piece of paper handed over to him. His hand was steady when he began to read, but it trembled a little by the time he had finished. So when he opened it, he was not shivering, he was not in fear, but as slowly, when he started reading it, then he started feeling he had a fear. The note was a rather short. The note was very short, but it was very dangerous. What was that note? Bob, I was at the appointment place on time. So who had come on the time, children? The policeman, Jimmy Wells. The policeman was Jimmy Wells himself. When you struck the match to light your cigar, I saw it was the face of the man wanted in Chicago. Children, he was a man wanted. He was the police people were searching this man, and the Chicago people had informed that this man has come to New York. So just catch him. Somehow I could not do it myself, so I went around and got a plain clothes man to do the job. So he was telling that as a friend, I am your best friend. I cannot do this with myself, but it is a part of my duty. I cannot leave you also. So in my place, I have sent one of my friend, a policeman with a formal cloth, so that you will not recognize him, and I have sent him to catch you. So children, and down it is written Jimmy. So Jimmy, his friend. See the title of the story, Duty and Friendship. So this exactly the end of the story has given a twist. You can see a particular twist at the end of the story. So this is a very interesting story, children. I hope you understood this story very well. Copy down these meanings, children, in your notebook. Moving on towards our activity, children. Given below are words in italic. These italicized words explain the idiomatic phrase used in the test. Write the textual sentence with the idiomatic phrases. Use the phrase in a sentence of your own. So children, I have this, whatever I have written with the red color, that is the answer. So you kindly copy down it in your textbook. This answers which I have given in a red color. Also children, whatever I have given you in red color, copy down in your not in your textbook. Activity 4, children, this is a prefix. A prefix is a letter or group of letters placed at the beginning of a word to alter means to change its meaning. The negative of some words are formed by adding a prefix. So in order to make the opposites, you can change it by adding a prefix. On the right hand side of your screen, you can see I have given the answers in the red color. Copy down in the notebook. Activity 6. Children, column A match with column B. Here I have given with the red color the answers. This also you can copy down in your activity 7. Answer the following, children. These questions are too big and question and answers are too big. So this I will give you directly in the another video, or I'll send you the PDF. These are the adjectives, children, used for Jimmy, Wells and Bobby. Here I have given the answers down. That also you can copy down. Choose the correct answer. Children, this answers with the red color is the correct answers. So underline in your textbook this correct answers. Activity 10. Write the following sentences in indirect speech instead of the given reporting verb. What is the reporting verb, children? You can see the sentence I have given here with the blue color. uh, the first sentence has been done as an example. You are not Jimmy Wells, Bob said. So this, after the quotation mark, whatever word is given, that is the reported verb. In the first sentence is Bob said, that is the reported verb. Second sentence is said the policeman, that is the reported verb. Third sentence said Bob, that is the reported verb. Fourth, if Jimmy is alive on earth, in this sentence children, the last, he said to the officer, that is the reported verb. So whatever sentence is given after the quotation mark, that is the reported verb. So that reported verb, said, asked, said, this all things you have to change it in the words according to the words given in the box. In the box you can see it is given enthusiasm, confidently, boasted, snapped, sarcastically, and bid. Bid means to give farewell. So this I have used in the answers. This red color which I have given in red color, they are the answers. You can see Bob snapped that he was not Jimmy Wells. So these are the answers children. So first you copy down these questions. You are not Jimmy Wells, Bob said, and then you write the answer. Bob snapped that he was not Jimmy Wells. So these are the answers children. Kindly copy down in your textbook if you have space in the textbook, or you can write it in the English notebook. So here we come to the end of the video. Kindly copy down all the activities in the textbook. If there is space in the textbook, copy down in the textbook, and if there is no space, kindly copy down in the notebook. Till then, goodbye.